Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the She Runs Strong podcast powered by Coach Parry with Nikki and Shona. And today we've got one of our coaching clients with us from our Coach Parry platform. We're going to introduce her in just a second. As always, though, I've got Nikki Friedman with me here. Nikki, how are you doing today?
Yep, I'm very good, thank you. And how are you today?
Yeah, all good. Really excited about this. We both know and have met Lesley. When I was in Edinburgh, I got to meet Lesley over there, which was awesome. So let's jump straight into it and actually bring her
Cool.
onto the stage with us as well. So there she is. Lesley, how are you? Welcome to the She Runs Strong
Welcome.
podcast.
I'm good, thanks.
Excellent. It's really nice to have you with us today, actually. And just to make people aware, we both really know Lesley quite well. I've run with Lesley a lot when I lived in Edinburgh. So it's great to have you on board and chat about your running journey, really.
Yep.
So
Thanks
cool.
for joining us, Lesley. Let's do that actually. I mean, I got to meet Lesley when I was in Edinburgh last year, and bless her, she organized for Coach Parry to run a talk in Edinburgh, which was really cool. And I love Edinburgh, so it's one of my favorite cities in the world. And I know that'll make both you and Nikki quite happy. But, it really is. But yeah, Nikki and Lesley, how did you guys meet? Because you guys have known each other for a couple of years, right?
Yeah, I think we met in 2019 at the start of London Marathon,
Yes.
basically, wasn't it? Yeah, I don't think I'd met you before that. So I had gone down with a friend. It was a bit of a late entry for me. I managed to get this last minute entry to go into London, and I trained, and I'd gone down with a friend, and she knew you. And
That's
so
right.
you came round. Did you come round to our hotel, or did
Yeah,
we
I
meet
came
you
to
at
the
the start?
hotel in the
You came to the
morning.
hotel, and we walked up, and you were buzzing because you were looking for a Boston qualifier that year, and which you got. Yes, so you ran really well. What was your time that year?
3:45 and 7 seconds.
So you did really well. You did
Yeah.
really well. So that's when we first met, and then you were coming down to track, and we were doing a
Mhm.
bit of coaching on track, and then we started running together, and over time we've become good friends.
Yes.
So that's been fun running journey. So
Yes.
yes, so that's how we met. But I'm
Yeah.
sure just before we kind of get started into everything, can you tell us a little bit about your running background and where you've come from in terms of your running journey?
Oh, I would say I've always been active. Even as a kid, I did athletics, although it was more hurdling, high jump, sprinting type stuff. I would do the occasional cross country in the winter, and that was my only distance running. Kept active. I became a cop in 1990. Had kids 1998, and after the second one was born in 2001, to get me time, I took up running. My husband would come home from work, I would go out for half an hour. The journey then progressed from 5Ks, 10Ks, half marathons, and I always swore I would never do a marathon. However, as time goes on, you end up getting hooked, and I'd done my first marathon, and it was about 9 years ago. I did the first marathon, which was Manchester. Did Manchester Marathon, then did London, and it's just continued from there. And it's just a passion now, is running and keeping fit.
How many marathons have you done?
I've now done 10. If you include 2 virtual Bostons during lockdown and COVID times, I had to do 2 Boston virtual.
Okay.
So yeah,
and what was your first, that Manchester Marathon? What was that time that you ran?
4:16 was my first in Manchester.
Excellent.
Then went on to London, which was a 4:08, and then Berlin after that I think was a 3:55. Yeah.
Excellent. So we've seen an awesome progression, and
Yeah.
stay tuned, guys, because you're going to hear where we landed up with Lesley last year when she ran Valencia. So we're going to lead up all the way to that. But Lesley, through some of your running, I mean, have you had any kind of challenges? Whether that's linked to menopause or injuries, or any kind of challenges over those years in those when you started running?
About 8 years ago, I needed back surgery on a bulge disc. So I had done Manchester, which was my first. And just after the new year that year, so it would have been whatever year it was, I was starting to train for London and started taking sciatic pain. So about 2 weeks out from, I had went to the physio, and good old physio, you know, take it easy. And it was like, well, I've got London Marathon, I can't take it easy. And he's like, you're still going to run? Yeah, I'm going to still run London Marathon. So by the time I came back from London, having PB'd London at that time from a 4:16 to a 4:08, I went back to see the physio and it still was no better. So went for the MRI, showed a bulged disc, and in the August that year I had surgery on the back. So came back running after 8 weeks, built up gradually, done some more marathons, and then 2 years ago, 2022, my back went again, the same disc, prolapsed. This time they wouldn't operate. I didn't want surgery again. So had nerve block, physio, and just changed the way that I was doing stuff so that I could come back again.
Yeah, I remember you being in quite a lot of pain through that.
Was that the one 2 years ago?
Yeah,
2 years ago.
2 years ago, and you were in a lot of pain, but you were determined not to give up running. But you,
I ran through it all.
yeah, but you were always in quite a lot of pain from that. So with that, you did reduce your running, but that's what kind of brought you into Coach Parry, wasn't it?
Because I thought after that, it was probably about the end of the summer, I really thought I'll never get back into distance running. And I think we had that conversation many a time that my running race days were over. You had started coaching with yourselves at Coach Parry, and I had followed you on social media. I thought, okay, I'll tune into the Faster Beyond 50 webinar. 2 years later, here I am.
It's good. And it's been quite a progression.
Yeah, it's been a good progression from thinking my race days were over to where I am now. I never believed it. And I still, even after Valencia recently, was like, wow, where did it happen? How did it happen?
Yeah, from my eyes, you've just got stronger and stronger. Can we go back and just go, what was the first plan you went on to? What did you start with when you came onto the Coach Parry?
When I first came onto Coach Parry, I went onto a 10K plan. So that took me November, December, January, and the 10K was at the start of February 2023. So again, took it easy, was being careful, doing the strength, doing the runs, because I knew I was building back up again, and went into that 10K and done a 47.
Wow.
Ended that on a high.
Yes.
Then I had a half marathon. What was that? The end of the May. So jumped onto a half plan.
I remember.
Yeah. And I think it was like, okay, so New York Marathon still had that you could get in with a half marathon time. And I can't even remember what the time was, but I managed to get a 1:45 half, which gave me a qualifying half time for New York. And then I did another couple of 10Ks, and then I done the Berlin Marathon in September 2023 and still managed a 3:51.
That's
so
excellent.
I was pleased with that, which again gave me a Boston qualifier for the second time.
Well, so let's clarify that for the second time, right? But bless you, you missed out on those because of
I missed out during COVID. I got my 3:45 in London in 2019 when I ran with Nikki. For Boston 2020, had everything booked, but then obviously COVID struck. We went into lockdown, so I lost it in 2020. Come 2021, the place rolled over, but because of UK residents not allowing to travel to the States in 2021, I missed it in 2021. And then 2022, my back went. So yeah, we were back to 2023. I got the place, and unfortunately, because of the cut-off time, I've missed out for 2025.
That's pretty unlucky, really, isn't it? Oh. So what did you find? So if we take back, so those are quite a lot of plans. You've sort of followed through really nice progressions there, and it's really worked. What was the main difference then coming onto those plans from what you had been doing in pandemic times?
Pandemic times, I was just running for the sake of running. There was no structure to it. There was no speed training. It was just putting the trainers on and going out and running. And even although there was a focus of, I think I should have done London 2020 as well as Boston in 2020, but both were cancelled. I was doing London for charity with my son. So that rolled over to 2021. So we were still training, and every marathon was just getting put forward and put forward. So we were still trying to train. So yeah, definitely pre sort of Coach Parry days, running was just running.
So you were running almost every day with little strength training, or every day?
And without every day, very strength would maybe be once a week if I was lucky. Pilates, well, obviously during pandemic times, it was all Zoom, so there was no face-to-face classes. So yeah, everything kind of went to pot during the pandemic times.
So how did you find it when you came onto the Coach Parry platform, or the plans when we tend to?
It was great because I do like a plan. I've always liked a plan, and having that structure. And it's good that with the Coach Parry, I can move the days, although the plan's structured a certain way. I know that I can change the days to suit what I have got on in that week.
And you were okay with reducing your running down?
It was hard to start with. Yes, there's no denying it. Yes.
4 runs a week.
Yeah, I managed.
Yeah, so I do think perhaps the structure is so important, as you say, and I know that is often something that people struggle with, in terms of reducing the runs and feeling like they're going to get slower because they're running less. But clearly, that was something that worked quite well for you, Lesley. I mean, your results are saying that.
I think Nikki will even agree with me there. The running slower to start with. I mean, we were running together and with another friend at the time. And we used to laugh about how slow we were trying to go rather than let's just go out and run and just take it at whatever pace. It was like pulling it right back in to go really slow. But yeah, it worked.
Yeah. I like it. We were running easy, as opposed to I like the term easy.
Easy. I think that is but that's a key point because people think that, they think, Coach Parry's principles are that we really want you to run slow. It's not that we want you to run slow. We want you to run your easy and your long run so that they feel easy, So, I mean, that's 2 factors there that you've already mentioned that I think are quite key, and they're part of our principles is having structure and not running every day, So actually there's 3 there. Not running every single day.
Yeah.
Having structure to your running, so that there's, some fast runs, some easy runs, and then again that third principle of running so that you feel easy, so that you can recover onto the next one. So so that's really, really cool. That's very helpful.
And over the first year of being with Coach Parry, how was your back? Because you were coming off that injury. Did it grumble on, or did it just ease, or how?
I would say even now I still get the odd grumbles.
Right.
But I think I've learned more about my own body and what I can do and what I can't do. So as long as I stick to the plan and keep doing my Pilates to strengthen my core and my glutes to keep my back strong, see the physio when I have to see him to pull me back into straightness, it works. So I very rarely have any grumblings with it at the moment.
Yeah, that's really good, and I think that rehab is key, and that's probably the 4th principle that maybe you haven't done as well necessarily as you mentioned. You've done Pilates, but we haven't really done. You've done some resistance training though, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, because you I know you are very active. You coach as well, so but yeah, I mean, I think just the rehab of your back, just allowing you to stay injury free so that you can stay consistent, right? So that you can get the training in, I think has been quite a key point as well. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So if we go back to last year and Valencia Marathon. So I know last summer, you were kind of like, I'm not that fussed. What shall I do? And I think we popped you onto a maintenance plan because you were just kind of like chilling with your running almost. And then
I had nothing else planned. I had done the summer half marathon in Edinburgh, and I had nothing else planned for the rest of the year. Personal circumstances, it was like, no, I can't book anything. And I knew that Nikki and B were going out to Valencia, and the opportunity arose. What was that, about
10 weeks out?
about 10 weeks out from Valencia, the opportunity came with the place, and it was like, do I, don't I? So yeah, I signed up 10 weeks out and jumped into the plan.
So that you jumped into a plan straight off a maintenance plan. So you had
Yes.
been very consistent, still following the plans and being really consistent with your running, which meant you could pop straight onto a marathon plan.
Yes.
And do those long runs. And so how did Valencia go?
Valencia went great. I followed the sub 4 hour plan. Even the day before, I was doubting myself whether or not a sub 4 was even doable. So went into Valencia on the Sunday morning, and yeah, everything just went well, and I knocked out a 3:46.
Let's just, again, just to put that into perspective, I think, which is quite key, is you ran 3:45, right, in London in 2019.
Yes.
So 5 years after your London time, you ran, I mean, pretty much a minute off your, because London was your PB, correct?
Yes, London was the PB.
Okay, so 5 years on, you ran a minute off. I mean, and this is coming from, not from thinking that your racing days were over, essentially. So, yeah. No, I mean, that's just amazing, Lesley. I mean, I think that what you've done and how you've achieved it is phenomenal to feel that. You must have just been buzzing after the race, for sure.
Buzzing. Yeah. It was a great feeling. It was totally amazing. And I think even after a few days, it still took a while to sink in. I managed it. Consistency and everything else, but it was still, I didn't go out and plan to run a sub 4 hour. If I had got 401, 402, 405, I would have been happy. But to get a 3:46, yeah.
Yeah, and as someone who was supporting you on the sidelines, what you don't know is Lesley had a cold that week. So she had it was sort of in your nose a little bit, wasn't it? So you'd had a mild cold going into it. So that had given you a wee bit of shaky confidence. But also I was tracking and I was running around the course supporting. And Lesley's splits were just spot on, phenomenal. Just right from the get-go, you just went out and you just sort of metronomic with it. You just kind of kept ticking off the kilometers. Just really strong. And even when we saw you just coming in the finishing chute at the end, you still just looked really, really strong and like you could have just kept on going.
Yeah.
And did you feel that way when you crossed the finish line? Did you just feel?
I mean, it was tough. And then I remember seeing you guys on the right-hand side shouting and cheering. And it was like, oh, that's it, finished. And I crossed the finish line and I wasn't buzzed by any means. I didn't feel I'm never going to be able to walk again. I was able to walk away and I felt quite fresh still, surprisingly.
That's it. It's just, I think, you're consistent running. So as someone who's watched you over the last couple of years, just your consistency in running those 4 runs every week, your strength, your Pilates, I know you strength train on Saturdays. And also, I would attribute some to your cross training as well. Tell us a little bit about your cross training. I think you also swim quite a bit as well, don't you?
In the past year, I've also done 3 sprint triathlons. Since January last year, I've done 3 sprint triathlons. So I took up swimming in October 2023 when my son challenged me to do a triathlon. So I had to get in the pool, or there was no way I was going to succeed at anywhere near 750 meter swim. So yeah, I've been doing a lot of swimming over the past year, which probably has helped with the running side of it.
Yeah, for sure. I remember when we met in Edinburgh last year, you said we both agreed that swimming was not our favorite aspect of any endurance sort of thing, but yeah, you must feel like that has had a difference or made a difference
definitely.
to your training in terms of running I guess, less than what you ran in, or anyways in lockdown. But yes, at least contributed to this overall endurance aspect for sure, and how you performed in Valencia.
Yeah, it's totally awesome. So you now have another Boston qualifier.
Yes, for 2026.
So fingers
Let's
crossed
see what
this time.
happens.
Yeah, let's hope that this time is third time lucky. So if we just go back and can I ask you how old you are, Lesley? 53. Okay. So over that kind of period from 2019, 2018, 2019 coming forward is, you know, kind of quite a critical time, I guess, in a woman's life. What have you found the kind of challenges have been just over that? Have you had challenges in that sort of respect? Do you want to talk about it?
The last 5 years, I would say, yeah, the whole menopause, it does change you. Sleep side of it, I've never had a great sleep because I've worked shifts for 30 years. So that interrupts your whole system anyway. So probably going into menopause, did I not notice any difference with the sleep? Probably not. I was used to running on little sleep. It's what I've always been able to do. I think the hardest part for me has been weight gain. Since 2019, when I did London, to 2024, when I've done Valencia, I've put on probably over a stone in weight. So again, you just think to yourself, there's no way I'm going to be able to maintain that performance carrying an extra stone in weight. To be honest with myself, I honestly didn't. So that was probably the biggest challenge for menopause for me.
Just for our listeners who don't work in stone, so that, if I'm not mistaken, is 6 kgs?
60 kg to about 67, 68 kg.
627, yeah. So six kgs and maybe 2 or 3 pounds, correct? If it's just so that we got.
I was in London.
And
67, 68 now.
I mean, I just want to challenge that, Lesley, if I can. I mean, do you have any idea if how much of that is perhaps muscle mass? Because you would have lost muscle or gained muscle over that time. So, or is that just, you know, the number? Or do you feel that is not helpful? Okay, so it's not. It's
definitely fitting different, and
okay, yeah. So it's not necessarily that you gained muscle there, but I mean, definitely overall weight gain. So, but I mean, then that just speaks more volumes as to as to what you achieved in Valencia. You know, what you feel, and you don't think it's necessarily muscle mass. So, yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, well done.
Yeah, very consistent, certainly. So, I mean, what you did in Valencia, I think, was really impressive, and just with Berlin before as well. And you're definitely really good with the long distance running and stuff. How did you find bringing in the intervals and the faster work? Did you enjoy doing that aspect of the plans? Do you enjoy doing the interval works? What's your thoughts around that?
If you want to recover from sessions faster, not feel tired all the time, run pain and injury free, and improve your endurance, then be sure to join me in my upcoming training specifically for female runners over the age of 45. In it, I'll share with you my simple 5-step framework that'll transform your running. Simply scan the QR code on screen now, or click on the link in the description to save your seats in the training now. We look forward to seeing you there.
Yeah, I don't mind. I think previous to Coach Parry, I would do track sessions. So I would do the track sessions. But once I obviously started training with Coach Parry, they didn't obviously fit in with going to the track. So last year, I'd done some of the track sessions with, or we would just use the local paths. And then the past year, I've pretty much done all the intervals. Again, I have to reschedule everything in the week. I move them to a Wednesday. In the summer, it's easy. I get up on a Wednesday morning, I go out. I've got a lovely water relief trail, or I've got a canal trail path that I can use for my intervals. So yeah, I quite like the intervals.
And how would you?
The long runs, I do fine.
Yeah, you're good at long running. I can vouch for that. That is definitely your superpower. In terms of the intervals, would you say, like, compared to the track that you used to do before, are they less or more, or how do they kind of compare, like in terms of the amount of sort of speed work and stuff?
I think the intervals are probably similar, but there's more recovery between the intervals on the Coach Parry plan. So you're getting that maybe 90 seconds or a minute recovery in between each interval compared to what you would get at track. But then tracks, obviously, the coaches are there for everybody, all and whatever they're doing and different plans that they're all following. Obviously, if you're following a plan, Coach Parry, you're doing it for that race. And yeah, definitely taking the recovery in between each interval is more beneficial, I would say.
Yeah, maybe just for everyone listening to quantify that. I mean, the reason we do that is because as we're getting a little bit older, we require a little bit more recovery overall, and perhaps in between, well, not perhaps, and between those intervals. And so that's the reason why we do that. It's always quite good to hear coming from the horse's mouth when we hear that it's working, and people can hear that it's not just Nikki and I saying things, and that's the proof is in the pudding, really, right? So yeah.
I think people feel that they need to do a lot of speed work to go into a marathon, whereas as long as it's a quality session that works for you, then I think that's the key, really.
Yeah.
And then those nice, easy runs and stuff. So, so you do the speed workouts mainly, or the interval sessions mainly on your own, and then do you manage to get other people to come along with you in the other runs then? And
the longer runs up to Valencia, I had some friends that they would join me for certain different parts of the long run. So I was still knocking out the 3.5 or 3:15 hour run, but I'd have friends joining me on different parts of the run, which was always good. So I was still getting the time in and time on feet. So yeah, the easy runs. I can do easy runs on my own. Or as I say, the longer ones was nice to have company.
Yeah, I think that's definitely key, just to keep, well, for me, the accountability, but also just, that the time goes so much quicker when you have, a friend along to chat to. So, but yeah, I think that's also quite key for me, just, to say that it's not just like what Nikki's saying. It's not just about you've gotten faster, and anyways, you've essentially maintained what speed you had 5 years ago in a marathon, not by doing more speed work necessarily, actually by recovering a little bit more in between those different intervals. And, I guess like you mentioned, structure, so not just going out and running, oh, well, I'm going to go do some speed at a track today, like structuring your training specifically. And you've managed to get as close to, if not pretty much the same time as you did 5 years ago in a marathon. So it's excellent. Yeah.
Well, also, I mean, you did have a mild cold that week, and the day before, Valencia, it was difficult getting around Valencia because of the flooding that had been, and it was difficult. The metro systems were shut, which meant everyone had to Uber. Getting Ubers took a long time. And then when we got to the expo, we had over 90 minutes queuing, standing on our feet to get into the expo. So you were actually on your feet a lot on the Saturday. Both you and B were on your feet way too much for the day before a marathon, but it was kind of unavoidable. And I think, if we could have done that differently, I'm not sure how, because we flew in on Friday, but if we could have done it differently, I think you would have just had that little bit extra energy. But despite that, you still did a cracking time, and it was all good. So going forward into 2025, what do you think you're going to do?
I have Lisbon half marathon booked for March 2025. I have Cardiff half booked for, I think it's October.
Okay.
Cool. We have a bit of a fun run in, is it June, Nikki? The Scurry.
Oh gosh. Yes, we've got a big relay race.
We've got 100 miles between us, and I think that's June.
June the 14th, that's correct.
So June the 14th, we've got that bit of a fun day out. And all going to plan. It would be nice to have New York in November.
Yes.
Excellent.
Yes, okay. So that's quite a year. So do you have a target for your half marathon? Are you going to be bold? No?
No.
as your coaches, I think, I mean, I have an idea in my head, but I'm not going to put it on you to put you under pressure. But yeah, so we can have that chat in the forum for sure, but or offline. But yeah, so the first one is Lisbon, you say. So that is
Lisbon
in
on I think it's the 8th of March, 8th or 9th of March, that weekend. So again, we'll fly in on the Friday and probably home on the Monday. So again, it's going to be a full-on weekend.
Yes,
but you're coming into the training of that now with such an amazing base coming off Valencia, so to then be able to hone in on a half marathon now, I think is really going to be it's going to be great.
Yeah, you should aim high.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm
We
sure
won't
will.
push you. Yeah.
No
We won't
pressure.
push you under pressure.
No
That's
pressure.
fine. That's fine.
Yeah,
But that's good. So yeah, so the 2 halves, and then hopefully New York in November. And then yes, when would we hear about the Boston qualifier? Just so I got my bearings.
Boston 2026. So that won't even open until time next year.
December.
I think that'll probably open.
Yeah. Well, I do hold thumbs for you just from a luck perspective, given that you've qualified, but you just, have missed out twice before. So, I really do hope that works.
But what is great is that you're planning races again, and you're getting out there and planning them and going for it and doing better than ever. It's great to see. And it's you're just going from strength to strength. Have you got triathlons for next year as well, or is it just going to be a running year?
I do. I have a triathlon booked for May.
Excellent.
In Nottingham. So again, going down with my son. He'll do the half Ironman distance on the Sunday, and I'll do the sprint on the Saturday. So a weekend of tries that weekend.
Okay, brilliant. And going into triathlon, you sticking with the sprint? You don't want to up that to the Olympic distance, or you?
No, I'm not going to up it.
Is that because of the swimming?
Definitely not a swimmer.
Yeah. You and me both. That's fine. No, but that's cool. I mean, and that's great. It's lovely, out on the bike, and then a 5K, nice hard 5K. Those are great to add in. And again, just the cross training into your actual training week is so beneficial for sure.
Do you actually take a full rest day?
Not very often.
Do you find that you maybe need to a bit more, or what does your rest day look like?
On a Saturday, if I'm not training in the gym, a rest day would be a dog walk. Or occasionally during the week, if I've got nothing on, one day it'll be a dog walk.
And when you say training in the gym, this is you training other people, right?
Doing a strength
you training
session.
yourself. Okay. So if you're not doing a strength session, you'll then do.
I'll do for a dog walk. So there's not a day that I do absolutely nothing but sit in the house. It'll be a Thursday is generally a Pilates and a swim. That's probably is an easy day. So it's active recovery. You would probably call it. But some Saturdays I'll have a day off doing nothing apart from walking the dog.
Okay. I mean, I'm quite an advocate for that, and it doesn't need to be a day of doing nothing and lying on the couch, but a day of really nothing focused from an exercise or training perspective. So a dog walk, great. Something that's just not structured. I think that would be. And ideally, nothing that's within your plan. But so I'm very happy with the walking. And we've spoken about that, Nikki, from a walking perspective of just increasing your general energy output, so to help manage weight as well as an aspect, that I find quite useful. But I do think that the recovery aspect of what you're doing is key. But you are definitely, as we've heard now, listening to your body, listening to when your back is sore, listening to what you need, which I think is also quite key to do as well. So, yeah.
It's great.
Definitely. All right.
Awesome year.
Good.
Oh.
Yeah. Lesley, well done.
Yeah, it's been great to have you on. It was great to come and support you in Valencia. What an awesome weekend. I knew you could do a good job there. And I always believed that you were going to do something quite rocking, and you really, really did. Knocked it out the park. So really hope that you get that Boston place this time, because I want a trip to Boston.
I'm going to say you can go with me.
Yeah.
Support team.
Oh,
Yeah.
that'd be amazing. But also just to go and I think, just have a good year of racing again. Again, just to reiterate, you thought your racing days were over. Now you've got 3 particularly big goals for the year. Just go and have a happy, I guess, healthy, injury-free, no back issues running year. I mean, we take those as victories as well. So, yeah. No, well done, Lesley. Lesley, anything you want to say, or yeah, just to before we call it quits?
Don't think so.
Okay, good. Well done, Nikki. Anything from your side before we say cheers to everyone?
Yeah, well, just like I said before, what was key with Lesley is just being a consistency over many years of recovering and structured run training. And I've watched it from afar and been involved in it as well. And you just very consistently just do the work and you don't over-egg it. And it's a pleasure to go and watch you in Valencia last year and just do so well and just be so happy. And it's great to see. So well done. Best of luck with the year to come.
Thanks, Nikki. It was great to have you there. It was good having you there.
Oh, I'm so chuffed. Next time I'll come along as well. But no, I think I won't follow on or add on to what Nikki's saying there, because I think what you said is quite pertinent. So yeah, just to echo that. And Lesley, again, just thank you so much for your time and well done. And we look forward to seeing what you smash out for this year. So yeah, thank you so much.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Awesome. Okay. Thanks everyone, and we will catch you all again next week. Bye.
Bye.